into it, so let's get it started right now. At this time, it is my pleasure to introduce the moderator for this panel, Lea Thompson.
How much Zoe Dutch looks like her, looks and sounds like her.
I am a Star Trek fan. What about you guys? Woo! Well, welcome to Star Trek Universe Panel, making its Hall H return to the San Diego Comic-Con. Today we have amazing programming in store, including exclusive conversations with the casts and producers of Star Trek Picard, Star Trek Lower Decks, and the newest edition, Star Trek Strange New Worlds. Okay, let's kick things off with Paramount Plus original series, Star Trek Picard. This is so exciting for me, especially Star Trek Picard. It holds a special place in my heart because I got to direct 2 episodes of season 2, which was the honor of my life. So, this particular series, the final season of Star Trek Picard, which will reunite our beloved Star Trek, the Next Generation crew, and take everyone on a journey as we join them for the final chapter of their stories. Now, let's give a warm welcome to executive producers Alex Kurtzman, Rod Roddenberry, and some of our amazing cast, McFadden, Beverly Crusher, and last but not least, the amazing, the awesome, the incredible Sir Patrick Stewart. Wow, that was exciting. Green, huh, you guys?
There is.
So, Patrick, the Next Gen crew together is not just an epic Star Trek moment, it is a historic moment in sci-fi history. How does this final season begin?
That's for you.
You asking me?
Yes.
I was told I was last. And I'm so used to being last. As much sympathy as you like. And now I've forgotten the question.
Oh, how does it begin? How does season 3 begin?
How does season 3 begin? That was a long time ago.
You want to help us?
How does season 3 begin?
Alex?
Well, let me start a little earlier than that. So when we first started, of course the first instinct is to bring back the entire crew of the Next Generation if you're going to do a Picard show. And Patrick was amazing because he said to us, I want to do this show, but what I don't want to do is repeat old things. And if we're going to get to the crew, then we have to earn it. And I think we took 2 seasons to earn the return of the crew. And the key thing for us was that we did not want to have the crew sort of come and have cameos. We actually wanted everybody to have really significant roles, and we wanted to whet appetites a little bit to see them come back together. So at the beginning of the season, the crew is in different places around the universe, around the galaxy. You want to take it from here?
No.
Okay. And slowly we see them come together, but we wanted to take the time, because these are obviously such beloved characters, to get to see where they are now.
Well, and it's been 20 to 25 years, if I may, gentlemen.
Please.
And you know, I know, yeah. It's been 20 to 25 25 years, and we're all younger and smarter. It's just amazing. But, you know, we've, like, certainly Crusher's been just all around the universe. I mean, you saw the universe from the Webb telescope. That's where, you know, I've been all over that place. And so it's really amazing to have a chance to return to a character and this incredible man next to me, and plunge in again, because we're different. We've evolved as characters, and it was really a gift. And I want to also thank Terry Metalis for the great story. He was our producer, and he did a fantastic job, I think.
Yeah, I want to pick up one thing which Alex said to me before we began shooting season 3, which was when I was expressing my concern about you know, how it would develop and grow, and he said, well, has nothing happened to you in the last 25 years? And I said, oh Lord, yes, so much. I mean, I don't feel I'm the same person that I was then. And he said, yes, that's what we want from Jean-Luc Picard. He's a different kind of man with a different outlook on life as a result of the experiences that he's had, not just in Next Generation, but since Next Generation. And those are some of the things, of course, that we're investigating.
So it's my understanding that, Alex, you might have something new to share with the San Diego Comic-Con audience?
Well, I mean, the first question that I had was, what are they going to look like? What do they look like? So you guys are going to be the first to see what they look like. I should also add that Brent Spiner is also going to be there, and he's going to be an old new character. That's awesome.
That is exciting. So, Alex, the first and second season of Picard are each incredibly unique. So, obviously, this season is different because it's got all these. Can you elaborate on how it's different?
Terry was very taken with the idea of kind of doing the final Next Gen movie. And it was really exciting to approach this from a place of, as Patrick just articulated, who would these characters be now, so many years later? And the kinds of movies that we, you know, obviously Wrath of Khan is a massive touchstone for anybody who loves Star Trek. But I think one of the things that we love most about Wrath of Khan is the mind games between Kirk and Khan, and the one-upsmanship, and that has been, I think, a real North Star for us this season. In the villain that we created, we do have a singular villain this season. I won't say too much, other than to say that she's amazing.
Amazing.
And I think that we really wanted to just honor the legacy of these extraordinary characters. I get chills. We cut that thing, and I still get chills watching it. So I'm so excited for you guys to see what's coming, because I think that this whole series has been a love letter to Next Gen, to Patrick, to all the cast. This last season, again, I think we earned the return of these characters in a way that hopefully will make you feel very, very home again.
Patrick, you've had the opportunity to play so many amazing characters, and I know each one of them, you know, kind of becomes a piece of you for the rest of your life. I think it's so miraculous that you have been able to revisit this awesome character in so many different ways. Has that been fulfilling to you?
Well, I have to question your use of the word revisiting, because about 3 seasons into Next Generation, forgive me, I'm a little bit hoarse, I realized that I was beginning to experience Jean-Luc Picard to to a point where I didn't know where he began and Patrick Stewart left off.
Wow.
We were blending, and as the episodes and the seasons wore on, and then the movies, I found that Patrick became more and more of it, and I was trusting myself to have Jean-Luc Picard inside me so that I didn't have to plan or plot or premeditate what would Jean-Luc Picard do under this situation. And so when we got to Picard, which I first of all turned down.
Definitely did.
But I asked to have a meeting with these beautiful, brilliant people who had invited me so that I could explain to their faces why I was going to turn it down, and I did. And then Alex here made a long speech. And at the end of that meeting I said, could I please have that speech in writing?
Ooh.
And 2 days later I got, I think, 32 pages. And I was so, because the emphasis was on who is Picard, because we don't know now, because of what has happened to him, because of tragedies in his life. And so far as episode 3, the final episode, season 3 is concerned, he was having to acknowledge that there had been an incident in his life, in his youth, when he was a child, which had shaken him so profoundly that he had built up a false experience in his head to live with it and to excuse it. And season 3 explores that attempt and corrects it as well. And that was perhaps the most challenging as well as exciting aspect of the whole show for me. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Rod, you grew up on the Enterprise with the Next Generation crew. How excited are you to see the family back for one more adventure?
It's incredible. I did. I grew up as a 13-year-old running around the Paramount lot delivering scripts and making coffee. And took a lot of it for granted, running around the bridge of the Enterprise, seeing you guys do all this amazing work. and here I was, just, wondering who needed their delivery. But over the years, the summers that I worked there, and being a true, genuine fan of the Next Generation, I remember my father would bring home the VHS tapes, and I would watch them at home. So I'm a genuine fan of Next Gen, and to have Picard out there, and to have you, Patrick, in the first 2 seasons, and of course bringing back the cast, is going to be mind-blowing. I'm very excited for it.
That's awesome. I know from directing the show that the behind-the-scenes crew is so amazing. The costumes, the makeup, the special effects, the visual effects. Isn't it a joy to see what they come up with? It's amazing. And congratulations on all the Emmy nominations. Woohoo! Amazing. I had so much fun directing Seven and Raffi, and I see that they are returning. And Seven is in Starfleet uniform. Can you give any clue as to where their characters are this season?
Seven has found herself a first officer on her ship, but as we know, Seven's a Fenris Ranger and has a very particular view on how things should go in the universe. And so a lot of Seven's exploration is about her identity versus the identity of Starfleet and where she fits in.
Patrick, working with you was such an inspiration to have such an amazing career and to be so generous and to have such passion about your work still, and so good and kind to the young actors and the crew. How do you keep that passion alive?
I love my job.
Yes, and it shows.
I truly do. And when I was 12 years old, I fell in love with it then, because one of the things that I discovered was that the stage was in fact the safest place I had ever been. And that feeling of confidence and assurance and safety has never left me. And as time has gone by, I have found that I have been able to take more risks. And this was a risk for all of us. And but we embraced it boldly and passionately and with belief, and that is what made all the difference.
Yeah, I mean, in some ways, the biggest risk for us was that we would have obviously let the fans down, but also let Patrick down. I think that was the thing that scared us the most, was we knew that returning to the part was going to require a lot of convincing, and that if we convinced him to do it, and then he didn't feel that he was getting to explore the psychology of the character in a new way, then it would have been an experience that he would have regretted. And I think we all, right from the beginning, you know, Michael Chabon and Kirsten Beyer and Akiva and myself and now Terry Metalis, everybody, all the writers, everybody took that seriously, very, very seriously every day.
And all those names that Alex has just mentioned, let's hear a round for them.
I think we have time for one or two questions from the audience.
My question is for Patrick. May I ask, how would an interaction between Picard and Professor X would go?
Well, the first and most important thing to say about that is that John Delancey is, I'm sorry, your question has confused me. You're talking about Professor X.
Yes.
And you know, this is my problem with the alphabet, which I never properly learned. Q and X mean approximately the same thing to me. My apologies. I left school at 15. What else do you expect? And I've been learning lines ever since. So, my ambition now is to learn the alphabet. Well, you see, the same thing happened with Professor X that happened with Picard, that the blending of the Professor and Patrick, except that I left school at 15 and he did a little bit more, was that I could be confident that what I was doing was Professor X, with elements of Patrick Stewart as part of it. But I was always happy to sacrifice Patrick Stewart to Jean-Luc Picard or to Charles Xavier. And that's how I've been about I think, certainly the second half of my presently 60-year career.
Wow.
My question is for all of you. Star Trek has done such a great job of developing more robust female characters in the last several shows.
Yes.
And I'm curious to see what there might be opportunity-wise for either Jerry Ryan or Gates to have their own spin-off as a captain.
Sweet. I do know how to drive a ship, remember that. I don't know, but I will say that this script for season 3 of Picard, I think it's the best stuff my character has ever had on a Star Trek season. So I was thrilled about it, and I think, I hope that the fans will be thrilled too. There's a lot of unexpected things that happen. There's a lot of unresolved issues between Picard and Crusher. And, you know, you'll see, even with the ensemble, there's some of us who, our characters haven't seen each other for years, and other ones that they've been in contact all the time. So you really do feel that life has moved forward, and that we're engaged in trying to imagine a future that we all will have courage enough to live, you know, and go forward to right now.
we carve out new territory in Picard, and whatever series of Star Trek it is that you watch or we are involved with, that is the most essential thing to remember. We are breaking boundaries all the time and reflecting life as it might possibly be. And I think that's something that is an admirable thing for any TV show to do.
I think that in some ways season 3 is that. But of course, I mean, look, if you guys love it, let's see what happens.
That's amazing.
My question is for Sir Patrick as well. Obviously you're Professor X, obviously you're Jean-Luc Picard, but like in Days of Future Past, we did get to see a younger version of you. Who would you like to see play younger Picard?
I find it very difficult to answer that question, because it would mean stepping outside who I am. And as I've been trying to explain, he's in here inside me. So I don't think it has to be necessarily somebody who lost their hair at 19. But someone with the feelings and the spirit, particularly when he watches Picard, and especially season 3, because that's where some of the surprises and shocks occur, and they really are shocks. So whoever he is, I wish him well. And can I just say, because this may be my last opportunity, thank you to Comic-Con. Because over the years, they have supported so many things that I've been involved with. And I'm very proud that I've been able to come back. Thank you.
I have one question, and I think a lot of people have this question on their mind. Patrick, do you get to sit in the captain's chair this 3rd and final season?
The captain's chair, the identical chair on the identical ship.
Any chair?
I don't think I do. There's more than one Enterprise, and that makes it a little complicated. But we do return to the original Enterprise for a while, and I had completely forgotten that in those days we had carpet on the floor. So that's the kind of advancement that has been made.
Well, this has been very, very exciting, and I want to thank the cast and crew and executive producers of Picard for joining us today. Seasons 1 and 2 are currently available to stream on. To see season 3! They're staying. Don't fret, you guys.
I have a lot of Crusher in me, and I'm happy to be performing any sort.